Hello, I'm Jeff Siegel. Welcome to Super Bowl Sunday at Santa Anita. We have a 8-race program prior to the big game and early post today, by the way. First post is 11 o'clock, so if you're going to the races, get there early for the 8-race program. First race is a maiden race, and these are fillies going 1 1/8 miles on the grass. I don't think this is a playable race for me. Number 1, Rickety Rackety Russ, looks like the right one. She's 2-1 in the morning line, but number 2, Working at Night, has credentials, and number 3, Cadazzle, has trained well of late. So I think any one of these 3 could win. I'm not really going to try to separate them. There's not a lot of value anyway. So I'm going to pass the first race, move ahead to race number 2. And this is another race that I'm not that keen on. Small field, just a 6-horse field. And Duke of Aspen, number 5, 3-1 in the morning line. That's not a bad price if you like him. He's one of a few that could win. No stadium along the rail. Is 5-2 in the morning line. He's just 1 for 15. Doesn't seem to have a winning punch, but he's right there in all of his recent races, and he obviously wouldn't have to improve all that much to win. And Donato, number 4, Rosario and Bob Baffert getting together. This is a horse that was very impressive, breaking his maiden. Didn't beat a whole lot, but looked good doing it. He's 9-5, so they're the 3 main contenders. I don't really have a real feel to separate them, so I'm going to pass the second race as well and move ahead to the third, which kicks off the pick 6. And in this race, a maiden claiming event for Calbred fillies 3 years of age in for $40,000. The 2 I'm going to use are numbers 2 and 6 on your program. Number 2 is a filly by the name of Hot Ticket, and number 6 is Clubhouse Rules. So you can play those 2 in an exacta box if you would like. Hot Ticket looks like she's dropping for the money run. She was claimed 2 races back, tried in the straight maiden company last time. That didn't work, but she's still above her claim level for Jeff Mullins. She continues to train well, switching to Bejarano, drawn comfortably inside. She is the 9-5 favorite and should fire. That's number 2, Hot Ticket. The other horse to look at, we mentioned Clubhouse Rules, coming into a maiden claimer for the first time. That's always a powerful angle, dropping from straight maiden to maiden claiming. She's got numbers that make her a bold threat, and this Craig Lewis, a trained filly, certainly has a good look in a weak field. So I think you can get by using just those 2 and 6, Hot Ticket and Clubhouse Rules, to kick off your rolling exotics in your pick 6 if you're playing that as well. Fourth race, starter handicap, going 1 mile on turf. And the 2 I'm going to use here, numbers 1 and 5 on your program. Number 1 is Start Jumpin' Marnie. 5 is Talk Too Much. Either one could win. I think I probably prefer number 5, Talk Too Much, but Start Jumpin' Marnie from the rail is going to get a great trip inside, saving ground throughout. Nakatani takes them out, and she's coming off a nice win on a 50 claimer, and in fact, she's won her last 2, so she's right in good form. Talk Too Much really has gotten good since being claimed for $20,000 by Mike Mitchell. Good second and a good allowance race last time out, dropping into the starter handicap ranks today, and Rosario riding her back. She's on numbers anyway, superior to Start Jumpin' Marnie. So you can use them both. Maybe preference to number 5, Talk Too Much, but I'd use them both in all of your rolling exotics. Moving now to the 5th race. This is a race, maiden claimer for 3-year-old fillies in for $30,000, and a little will go a long way here. I don't really trust anything, so I'm going to go 3 deep. Hopefully I can get by using numbers 2, 5, and 6 on your program. Number 2 is Sweet Consolidator, 5 is McDuffie, and 6 is Diamond Journey. So 2, 5, and 6. Sweet Consolidator has had 10 starts, so she may be a hard one to trust, but she's in the money in all of her recent starts. I think she'll probably at least hit the board, so you can use her in your exacta or trifecta. McDuffie, number 5, putting blinkers on for the first time for James Lloyd. Showed a little bit of life last time out, went 3rd, another forward move today, and she could possibly win it. The one I like the best, though, is number 6, Diamond Journey. Coming out of a pretty decent race, I thought, for Mike Pipey. That was her first start for New Connections, and she pressed the pace, hung on reasonably well, and as she moves forward all off that race with Gomez riding her back, Diamond Journey will strictly be the one to beat. So I go 2, 5, and 6. Preference to number 6, Diamond Journey, and I will use all 3 in all of my rolling exotics. Sixth race is the San Antonio. Here's our single. Number 1, Gladding. I loved his local debut for John Sadler. He'd been racing at Calder, and he'd shown some ability, but nothing like I thought his last race. Earned a 99 speed figure. He was Buyer speed figure. He was wide pressing the pace. Came away, won very impressively. Has come back and trained extremely well since. He's drawn inside, and the pace scenario looks soft. Now, obviously, Aggie Engineer, who looked so good winning the San Pasquale, he's going to be the one to beat. But at 5-2 in the morning line, I'm all over Gladding. This is a really good gelding, lightly raced and vastly improved. And in a race that, again, doesn't have a whole lot of pace, Gladding is going to be exactly where you want him to be. So let's go with number 1, Gladding, as our rolling exotic single in today's 6th race, the San Antonio. That's number 1, Gladding. 7th race is a 6.5 down the hill allowance race for fillies. And we'll go 3 deep here using numbers 4, 8, and 9. Number 4 is the Razor Sharp Magic Launch. Number 8 is Russian River. And number 9 is Spieler. So 4, 8, and 9. Magic Launch has won 4 in a row. She's being wheeled back in a week. She really has had a pretty hard campaign, but she seems to be able to take it. And if you expect her, as I do, I'm going to throw her in, even though the short rest obviously concerns me. But she's too good a mare to dismiss. So use number 4, Magic Launch. Number 8, Russian River, blinkers on, shortening up. I think she might be very effective at this trip. She was a pretty good third down the hill last time out, and I think this is maybe what she wants to do. They've been routing her, shorten her up, maybe most effective as a sprinter, and the blinkers going on for Mike Mitchell with Talamo riding her back, so you got to use number 8, Russian River. One thing about this race, it doesn't have a whole lot of pace in it, and Spieler, who's now making her 3rd start in this country, showed vast improvement last time out. And looks to me like a mare who's going to be able to make the running here. And if she can relax from Mike Smith and get clear early, she may never look back. So use number 9, Spieler. She'd actually be our top pick, and she's a square 4-1 on the morning line. So the numbers again, 4, 8, and 9. I would use all 3 in an exacta or trifecta box, and definitely use all 3 in your rolling exotics. 8th race and final, maiden claimer, $20,000 tack for fillies and mares. This is the bottom of the barrel. And number 9, Indiana Nana, is 8-5 on the morning line. She'll probably go lower than that. Really does come out of a much, much better race on Figs. She's a standout. And with Talamo taking over for Smith, this Mike Pipey trained filly should be able to control this modest race from gate to wire. So Indiana Nana, a short price, logical single in today's 8th race, 8-5, probably go less than that. Maybe too short to play straight, but not too short to single if you're playing exactas. Pick 3s, pick 4, even the pick 6. That's number 9, Indiana Nana. And that wraps it up for our Sunday Super Bowl program. Good luck to whatever team you're rooting for. We'll take a few days off. Be back next week. We'll talk to you then. This is Jeff Siegel. Thanks for joining us here on sananita.com.